Welcome to another Cup of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Tumalo, CEO of Plan Giving Partner, with my welcome back awesome guest, Greg Wilson, CEO of Stick Figure Fundraising. Welcome back, Greg.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. I'm excited. I have my mug. I'm all
Awesome.
ready to go. My daily mug here. So
Cool. Excuse me while I put mine down. Oh, by the way, this you can't see it. My thing is blurred, but it says I like big mugs and I cannot lie. I like big mugs and I cannot lie. Probably
which
some of our audience is
unfortunately
too.
dates both you and me.
I was
And
just gonna say, look it up, folks. You young whippersnappers, look it up. So, topic today: how to keep good gift officers. Is that even possible? What's the average? Is it still around 18 months average tenure for a gift officer at a charity?
that's what I've still been hearing. Maybe a little longer, but my guess is that number is going to continue to drop, which it makes life challenging if you're a boss or a manager of gift officers.
And you have been in many places.
Yes.
And I've always been more on the, contractor, but more on the gift officer. I've never managed people. So for me, it's and bonding with the other gift officers, like, yeah, I get it. You guys are working super hard. It's a tough job, not getting paid as much as you could in the sales world. And then it's just you're under all this pressure, right? So,
Wow, when you phrase it like that, who wouldn't want to stay in that job? It's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. Why would you?
Sign
Yeah.
me up again.
I'm gonna get a better offer down the street. I'm going.
Yep, yep. Bake in
So,
some travel. Man, that sounds like a blast.
but I wonder how often it is a financial. I mean, I do hear, yeah, they did leave. We're losing so and so. They gave their notice. They are getting more money. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how often it is about the money.
Uh, I mean, I would say on that one, and then we can even get back to your original question. I would say that um, I don't know, just spitballing, maybe 50% of the time it is about the money, and 50% of the time when they say it's about the money, it's not really about the money, it's something else. Just that the money is the polite thing that you can share and say, oh, I'm getting this, significant raise if I go over here, or, whatever kind of deal. Because I think to keep your gift officer, you have to have just a couple of things in place. There needs to be at some level a team camaraderie. Being a gift officer is at its core a relatively lonely job. I mean, you're out and about, especially if you're working someplace where your constituents are far flung. You have a gift officer that's spending a couple weeks a month out on the road, whether that's airplane travel or whatever. That's not always the easiest to do and to keep going, though.
And you're
Also,
speaking from, excuse me, you're speaking from experience. I remember the one place you worked. Didn't you say you go down to the airport like on a Sunday morning, like some ungodly hours?
no, that was a Monday morning, because
Monday morning. I
I
mean,
wasn't
Monday
allowed
morning.
to. I was only allowed to travel. According to my wife, I was only allowed to travel Monday to Friday, so I would stretch that to sort of
But you would do
maximize
that,
my.
right? You get out
Yep,
early,
yep, yep.
crazy early
I'd,
Monday mornings.
yep, I'd catch a 5:30 flight out someplace, and you know, travel here, travel there. Um, yeah, and then my deal with my parking lot attendant was that it wasn't Saturday until we were both home. Um, and she worked like the 11 to 7 shift or something like that, and then, or maybe it was like a 9 to 3, and then I was getting home sometime around like midnight, 1, 2 kind of deal. It was still
And
Friday.
are there gift officers nowadays they're willing to do that? As we age and evolve and things evolve, more and more people, employees in any industry, are saying, I don't want to go down the office. I want to work remote. I wonder if travel is just, well, I don't want to get too far off track here, but
Yeah.
is that I'm saying all this if I was trying to hire gift officers.
Well, I think you have to be upfront with like what the travel load really is. I mean, seen that a bunch of places throughout my time that they're like, oh, travel's only 50% of the time. And by 50%, they literally mean like, oh, we want you gone Tuesday through Thursday every week of the month kind of deal. And I'm like, well, that's not really like 50% of the time. Like,
They're including Saturdays and Sundays.
yeah, yeah. So, um, so I think, and that goes into my second point. So the first one is there needs to be some sort of like, you know, team that they can feel like they're a part of. The second one is they need to have some realistic, the organization or you as the manager needs to have some realistic expectations um, of what the gift officer can accomplish, and just what they're actually working with. I think that's um, something that we don't often put as much time into as a manager. We're just like, oh, okay, the last person had this pool, let's just pass this over to the new guy, and or gal, and they'll like take it off and have the same production right away because Joe was producing this much out of this portfolio prior to his departure, and now, oh, Greg should be able to just like jump right in and produce that same amount, which it really won't, because everybody liked Joe as a gift officer. They understood how Joe worked. Joe understood everything about about the donors he was working with. So he knows, okay, this is when I need to travel to this area because this is when I have a better chance of getting this donor for a sit down conversation. And it takes a while to learn those nuances and to cycle up and to build those relationships again. So I think that's two of the real big ones that don't get talked about very much.
And I think the personality has a lot to do with it. So I am more of a high level extrovert. Don't bog me down with the details. And I just love talking to people and just talking about whatever. But that's tough to do when you're talking with somebody that's more introverted, get to the point, like I do a lot in healthcare. So working physicians, that's tough. It's like, what do you need? I've had that. I'm in the emergency room, and I'm like, I don't say this, but I'm thinking, why would you pick up the phone?
Yep.
What
Yep.
hospital? Because where are you at? Because I'm not going there. No, but it's right. So with them, it's like you can't always be all touchy feely. Yeah, how's your
Yep.
day going today? What are you up to? Right.
Yep.
I'm exaggerating, but
No,
then
but
again, and that's why I love the plan giving space, because we're talking to a lot of retired people, and those are, if the ones that will connect, the opposite problem, getting them off the phone. So, right. So personality, I would
yep.
think I'm not going to I may not connect with every donor like you did when you were here because
Yes.
of our personality differences.
Yep. Yep. But you might connect with others better, or differently, or that change might be what a donor needs kind of deal. And yeah, so I think that's that second big piece that's not spoken about, is being able to you know plan for some cycle up time instead of just, oh, poof, we're gift officers aren't, I guess, exactly plug and play kind of deal. You can't pull out one and stick the next one in and expect no drop in production. But there's always going to be a drop during a transition.
Right. And so anything else as far as keeping them? This is crazy concept. How about checking in every 6 months? How's it going, Greg? Tell me how you're doing. What can we do to better serve you as a gift officer?
I mean, hopefully they're checking in more than once every 6 months. Hopefully that's like a, weekly, or at the very least, like bi-weekly process. And even just, and that's some of it too, as the manager, you have to learn, well, how does my team like to communicate? How do they like to communicate as individuals? Is there a team communication style, and then is there an individual communication style? And you really need to pay attention and figure out what that is, and then make sure you're responding to your gift officers in the way that they want to be communicated with. Maybe some of them like text, maybe some of them like very formal sit down one-on-one meetings every week. Sometimes some might want to just call you during long stretches of road travel kind of deal, or sitting in traffic kind of deal. So you have to figure out again what the best way is to connect with each one, and then just stay focused on that.
I was referring, I agree. And tell me if this is what you were just talking about. I was referring to actually sitting down and saying, okay, we're not going to talk about your numbers or donors. How are you doing? How are you feeling about, just like we would with a donor, I would. How are you feeling about being part of this? And just please be honest. We really value you, Greg, and you're doing a great job. Or if you're not, I know we've had some struggles, but we believe in you. We're committed to helping you get to the next level. But it's really important. A lot of people don't sit down and just from an emotional standpoint, ask how you're feeling about this. I don't know that a lot of managers are doing that. Are they? You would know better than I would.
Yeah. Probably not. I think the hardest part is actually digging down to the real answer. Again, to pick on most major gift officers and probably most fundraisers in general, probably most nonprofit people in general, we tend to be like, oh, I'm fine, and just kind of keep plowing on. And when maybe we're not so much on the inside, but even from that managerial point of view, boss point of view, however you want to phrase it, like leader point of view, you want to, again, get to know your team well enough that you can like start to figure out when they're just giving you that, yeah, I'm fine, and hear it. And then again, like I often think it's, or maybe I've just been pretty fortunate with my different teams, but like having those conversations more often than that. And sometimes it might have to lead with how you're feeling or things that you're seeing and just describe kind of deal. I've always tried to be pretty open with all of my teams, and I like to think that some of them thought I was functional as a boss person. So
They have. I've spoken with them. They have.
thanks.
So takeaways, sit down and have not everybody's willing to do it, but at least I tried, right? I'm a more emotional person. I want to have heart-to-heart conversations. So try to do everything you can on a regular basis to have that.
Yeah.
When somebody new comes in, just don't assume that these 120 assigned donors are going to be a fit for them. Maybe the other gift officer has some folks that just can't get anywhere with. And let's just switch. Sometimes a different person calling, a different gender calling, different personality calling will get their attention.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other takeaways that we talked about?
And then just, make sure they feel like they're part of a team. That's the other big piece. Good.
Greg Wilson, CEO, Stick Figure Fundraising. How can people get in touch with you?
Easiest way is by email, and that's just at greg@stickfigurefundraising.me, or you can check out our website at stickfigurefundraising.me.
Thank you, Greg, as always.
Thank you very much, Joe.
You will.